Hello there. Welcome to PTZOptics Live. We are live every last Wednesday of the month at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm not used to having this guy next to me, and he's throwing me off on my intro just by being here. But can you believe it? We have in the flesh Mr. Paul Richards.
Hi, everybody. So excited to be back on these shows with you every month. Today, we are going to go over the brand new PTZOptics Move 4K cameras. We also have one of our newer cameras, the PTZOptics Studio Pro. Everything is connected to our network. We're using NDI, and everything is streaming in 4K. So check on YouTube for that little cog there, and it is 2160, I believe, P for 4K 30.
That's right. Make sure you are watching in 4K today because we are streaming in 4K. And this is actually the first time we have ever gone live from our channels with the brand new Move 4K cameras. So you are actually viewing us right now from our brand new cameras. This is the start of today's demo, right?
That's right. And we're also in our brand new studio. So maybe we could introduce our social media manager, Lindsay Pope, and you guys could get a little sneak peek at the brand new studio that we have built here.
It's a work in progress, but we were able to pull everything together today to go live with you guys and share how excited we are about these cameras. There's a lot of things they're going to notice off the bat. First off, some sizing differences. And you're getting another view from, is this the 12X right here? No,
Yep.
it's the 20X, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Lindsay?
This is awesome. I feel like I am on the Today Show or some sort of Christmas special. I feel very official.
I know, you're still with us, and I'm glad, and we're all in the same room. We're about to dive into demo for one of our most exciting features with these new cameras, which is integrated auto tracking. Before we dive into that, make sure you're saying hi in the chat. We are live. Let us know where you're watching from and what you're most excited to see with these new cameras, or any questions or requests that you may have.
Yeah, we're happy to answer questions. We're here with you live, so ask away. This is the brand new Move 4K cameras. One of the things you'll notice, and I've actually got a pretty cool live preview of the back of these cameras here, is that the 30X model, which is one of our most popular models, is the biggest model as well. So you can see how large it is to have a nice big 4K lens here on these cameras to get really high quality 4K video. On the back of these cameras, one of the things that you will notice is that the cameras have NDI, NDI-HX here. We have USB connectivity for plug and play. And then we also have SDI and HDMI. One of the cool things about these cameras, I'm going to move this a little closer. This is the view from the Studio Pro here, is that we are able to embed audio on all of these video outputs. So if you're bringing audio in via the 3.5 millimeter audio input here, we have the ability, I can turn the light on. Oh, that looks nice. The Studio Pro has a little light here I can turn on it. It's kind of nice for these types of things. So you can bring the audio in and embed it on NDI or any of the IP streams. You can stream directly to YouTube, Facebook, and lots of different places here. You can stream via RTMP-S up to 4K, but you can also stream via SRT. And then, of course, NDI, the network device interface, NDI-HX3, the latest version of NDI over your local network. We can also embed audio onto SDI and HDMI, so a lot of really big upgrades to the camera there.
That's a big request. And did we touch on the fact that we have simultaneous outputs here with IP, USB, and SDI, and HDMI all on a single camera? So we're eliminating the need for USB, SDI, and NDI cameras. We're blending them into one unit on these new cameras, as you can see in your little GIF.
No, and I should mention that SDI and HDMI are not simultaneous, so you have to switch between SDI or HDMI with this 4K chipset that's here. But we used to have SDI, NDI, and USB models, and it's all available now with a single product SKU here, and those are the SKUs right there. Now, my favorite feature for this camera, and let me see if I can show the remote here, Tessa. We'll see if the Studio Pro can show this. The remote control has new buttons on the front here. Yep, we can see it right here. And it's those auto tracking buttons at the top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the auto tracking. You can turn on auto tracking with the IR remote. You can also turn it on the web interface. And let's zoom into Lindsay first. And we'll start auto tracking Lindsay to show you guys an example of this.
Don't worry, we're going to do a Q&A towards
Yeah, I'm
the
writing
end of the
down
demo.
some questions
We'll
right now.
answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Lindsay's writing them down.
Okay.
So I just turned on auto tracking,
Come on,
and we set a preset 0 for this camera so that it would go directly into Lindsay when the auto tracking starts. Now, one of the cool things about this camera is it knows that we have selected Lindsay for the auto tracking. So I'm not going to be able to, it's not worried about me. It's not worried about Tess. And one of the really cool things about this is if you're a pastor at the front of the church, if you're a singer on stage with a band, if you are a teacher that is working with other students, the camera will not get distracted by other people. So we've got a little demo here we can show you.
Should I
So if
come over?
Lindsay kind of
come on
comes over
over.
here, you'll see it'll stay tracking on her. Now, what happens if we want to track somebody else?
What are we going to do, Paul?
Well, we can easily switch between any person on camera and have it to focus on that person. So now it's focusing on Tess.
So once I start moving, it's going to grab me. Walking
And
in
this
front
is one of the
them.
biggest problems with auto tracking cameras today is that they
I
just
will-
do motion tracking, whereas now we are able to do a combination of facial and body tracking to physically recognize one person from another. So you can see here, we can actually toggle between all three of us here quite easily. And that's just how it works. It makes it very nice and easy. Well, can I have a chance to do a little auto tracking?
Yeah. And I know we're going to get the question, what happens if multiple people are walking around? So let's demo that too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we can try to kind of fake it out, and you'll see that it really, really works well. Maybe we'll go back to Lindsay because Lindsay is like a pretty good dancer here. Here you
I
go.
jumped
Running around?
Yeah.
Okay, is it on me?
Yep.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Didn't know you guys were coming to the ballet, did you?
Now, there's a lot more that we can do with this camera's technology that's built in. This is built into the camera. This is not software that is running on a computer. There is an actual computer vision chip that will take the video directly from the camera and steer the auto tracking. So auto tracking was one of the first things our engineers have worked on, but they're working on a whole lot more, and we're really excited in the next couple months to be announcing new ways to use computer vision with these cameras. And if you have a PTZOptics Gen 2 camera, we have a new software called the PTZOptics CMP, which will allow you to add auto tracking to your existing PTZOptics Gen 2 cameras, but it does require software. So it's a big difference between the PTZOptics Move cameras and the Gen 2 cameras. So I'll go ahead and turn tracking off now.
Oh.
And we'll continue the show.
Let's do it. You want to head back to our set over here.
Okay.
We'll get Lindsay's. Oh boy. Is it auto zooming while tracking?
By the way, I just wanted to mention, this is our brand new studio. In a few weeks, we're going to have a huge stage built over here and a new podcast. So I apologize, it's a little messy over here, but we have some really cool plans for the studio. I can't wait to share with you guys.
We've got a lot of questions coming in already.
Let's answer them.
So we'll just cover some of them before we jump into some more features and things with the camera. Is it auto zooming while tracking?
It is, and we could actually do another demo to show that, but it will automatically zoom, pan, and tilt. So it kind of makes a decision based on how far you are from the camera on how much it will zoom in.
I wonder, is it looking for a full body or a half body?
It is, and we can show that in this studio in a little bit if you guys want to see more. But basically, I've noticed if we go further away towards the corner, it will zoom in more. So it tries to keep your kind of full body and frame.
Auto tracking looks very good, even in poor lighting conditions. Yeah, because our lights are set for each of these particular sets. Once we did the auto tracking demo, you're not getting that perfect lighting, but just for the demo, it worked just fine.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple other things I wanted to show, and if there's questions, please feel free. But one of the great things, a lot of our customers are in the houses of worship, and one of the main issues with auto tracking cameras is you might have a choir. You might have people in front of the camera. And so now that we have this new technology that can lock into a pastor or an educator or someone who's the leader of a band, for example. In fact, we've got a little video Mike can cue up here to show some examples of why this is a really game-changing auto tracking feature here. I don't know if you want to cue that video or not, Mike, but this shows a couple of the examples of how auto tracking really works well when you can select the person you want it to track instead of just relying on motion, for example, here. So you can see the pastor here doing a little auto zooming there and keeping her in frame at the front of the stage without being worried. And then again, a lot of presenters and teachers have people. There's multiple people on stage, for example, and the camera will follow the person you select, just like we showed.
Yeah, and someone's asking if somebody is walking behind an object. We did cover that a little bit in the demonstration, but we can certainly tap into that again.
Yeah, that's a good question. There is an object lost option. Hey, Tom, good to see Tom Sinclair here. This is our new camera, so I'm hoping everyone's excited. Another big area that I wanted to cover is the brand new UI. And there's some really big features on this the engineers really wanted us to cover. And that is the brand new UI here. So one of the things that we've done is we made everything accessible to the IP connection on this camera. So it's a really easy way to get in touch with everything, including turning off and on auto tracking, right? So you can see here we've got the auto tracking on off buttons here, pan, tilt, and zoom controls, and advanced imaging for focus, exposure, color, noise reduction, and setup. Now, one of my favorite new features here is that we have the ability to do multiple profiles. You can see here in the bottom left. And that is really ideal if you are a house of worship or somebody who actually streams from the camera to YouTube or Facebook. Because you can set up one profile for Facebook, and then, actually, can you switch back to because Tessa's actually blocking the profiles that are right over here. So you can set up one profile for Facebook in the bottom left there, and then one for YouTube, and then maybe even another profile just for low light, like a candlelight service.
And how easy is it to go live from those saved settings?
So in the streaming settings here, you can see we've got our first stream going to Facebook. Now, of course, these cameras support 2 RTMP streams, and you now have the ability to enable them on and off. So you don't need to reboot the camera to start streaming anymore.
Is that on and off go live, essentially?
Yes. That's like a go live button right there. Same with SRT. Now, in the UI and profiles area, something really cool that you can do is once you have all your settings correct, you can go ahead and let's call this the Twitch live stream profile, for example. And you can, of course, set all the settings to what you would like. And once you have it, you can decide what you would like to download as your profile, including image settings, video outputs. You download this, and then you can go ahead and it will become a profile on your camera that you can reload, and you can obviously delete them. Also, they wanted me to mention that we have multiple modes here. So we have a dark mode, we have a light mode, and you can customize the entire UI for colors. And you can see it's quite different here from a kind of from our older cameras. This is a brand new setup here. It comes by DHCP by default. We have all the new NTP settings to make sure that your IP video streams are in sync at all times. And then one of my favorite new features is that the camera has a web server on it now. So right out of the box, to make setup easier, you can just go directly to PTZOptics.local, and that will be the default IP address for the camera. So if you're setting this up for the first time, you plug it into your network, you don't need to know what the IP address is. Even if you're using DHCP, you can use PTZOptics.local as the simple, I don't even kind of remember what that technically networking is called, but you just type in PTZOptics.local, boom, you get right into the camera. And then the default password is admin. Obviously, we suggest that you update that. And then once you're in there, you have, you can set the static IP address directly. So getting set up for IP networking with these cameras has been improved and kind of streamlined in a big way.
We have so many questions. Do you want to
Let's
go
answer the
over some
questions,
more
yeah.
features with the cameras, or do you want to jump right into
I think
Q&A?
that was the main thing that I wanted to go over. You can now also update an HTTPS certificate in here because MIDI, we now support MIDI control, which is opening up a lot of great doors in the music instrument device interface world. And we're going to be part of the 40th anniversary of MIDI this year at the NAMM show. And you can control the IR remote selections directly now as well. So there's a lot of great stuff here. But yeah, let's get right to the questions fast.
Question on the UI, will it be applied to G2 cameras as well?
No, it will not be.
Specific to the new Move 4K line.
But what I will say about the new UI is that the camera management platform, the PTZOptics CMP, the software that I'm showing right here, will work directly with all of the G2 cameras. Not only will it give you a much easier interface for adding and controlling cameras. For example, you can find all the cameras on your network, select them, and add them to the CMP very easily. Manage as many cameras as you have and want on your network. But you can also do color corrections. And there's some really advanced color correction tools now available for all the G2 cameras. And this is where you can add auto tracking to your G2 cameras. I'm not going to add them right now because the G3 cameras have built-in auto tracking. But for all of our camera owners of G2 PTZOptics cameras, you will have the ability to have auto tracking via the CMP software.
We had a question that was interesting to me about zoom capabilities on the new line.
That is a really interesting topic that we can certainly cover. So the cameras are available in 12x, 20x, and 30x optical zoom. Now these cameras are natively available in 4K. If you are still doing a 1080p production, then you can enable 2x digital zoom and effectively double the optical zoom without losing any resolution or having any pixelation. So if you have a 30x PTZOptics Move 4K camera and you're still set up to do 1080p, you can actually have 60x this is what we call effective zoom, right? So that getting a little extra digital zoom because you have the extra resolution in the image sensor if you're using a 4K camera in a 1080p production environment.
What do you got, Lens?
When is the CMP available?
So the CMP is available today. So you can go to ptzoptics.com/CMP.
It's in beta.
You can request access to the beta. So we will get it to you. The reason why they're keeping it in beta for so long is because they are actively getting suggestions from you guys, our customers, and our audience. So this is a great time to be downloading it, playing with it, and giving our engineers feedback before it's available for the public release because we're in this time of continual improvement. But it is very stable. It's available for Mac, PC, and Linux. And it has a really cool quad view. So you can look at one camera or up to 4 cameras at a time here. It has a lot of cool features for, you can control it with an Xbox controller. You can control it with your keyboard and mouse. You can control it with an X keys controller.
What about the SuperJoy? I saw a lot of questions with the SuperJoy.
I saw that too, yeah.
The SuperJoy will work with all of these cameras.
But toggling auto tracking on and off was the question.
That's a great question, and it will be available to toggle. I did ask that question to the engineers. You will be able to toggle the on and off status of the auto tracking for the PTZOptics cameras via the SuperJoy. it will be part of the HTTP command list when the cameras are shipping. Thanks, Tom. We're really excited to add the auto tracking. And the auto tracking for G2 cameras, if we want to take a quick peek at this, okay, what I'm going to do is, let's see, which camera am I in here? I'm going to zoom into this because it is quite interesting. You see here, there's actually, the cool thing about what we're doing here with PTZOptics is we're offering hardware-based auto tracking with the PTZOptics Move cameras, which is really ideal in most scenarios, in my opinion, especially for like education. If you've got lots of different classrooms, you've got lots of different cameras, you don't want to run a computer for every single camera that you want to have auto tracking. It's very ideal to have it built in, but the software gives us a lot of flexibility. And the software you're looking at right here was actually designed by Sarah Cross, who's on our team. And you can see here that she has the ability to do a face or a full body. And one of the really cool things is you have the ability to choose your tracking area. And so what this is doing here is allowing you to maybe choose a really small person on stage and give a wide amount of space around the person that you want to track. So essentially, if you want extra space to capture whiteboards of a teacher, or to give some extra space left or right of your subject that you're tracking, you do have some more granular controls over how you want the auto tracking to behave. And you can see here some of that in the software.
Firmware upgrades.
I need to mention that for both the CMP and for the brand new PTZOptics Move 4K cameras. One of the things that you'll notice in the Move 4K cameras under the device info tab is there is a firmware check option, which goes ahead and pings our server, lets us know what firmware you have, and it will let you know whether you're up to date. If you do need a firmware update, it will download it and apply it to your camera very smoothly. The CMP can do the same. This is really cool. So if we go to the dashboard of your camera, it's going to give you all of the updates on its response time, the device ID, and the firmware. And I'm trying to remember where this is, but there is a firmware check here somewhere in here. Oh, see, this one's a beta camera. That's why I'm not seeing the firmware check thing. But it also has a really cool feature for those of you out there who are computer programmers. It has every single HTTP command available to our cameras so that you can send commands directly to the camera and get the results, copy and paste them, and put them into the projects that you are working on.
A lot of people asking when the CMP will be available, so hopefully sometime early in the new year.
Yep, early in January it looks like.
And when will the Move cameras be released?
So the Move cameras should be shipping in December. I'm guessing towards the end of December when we get them to our distributors, out to our resellers, and then to you guys, of course.
Pre-orders have already started, and we hope to be making deliveries to distributors before the end of the year. So if you are a partner watching, pre-orders are available for the Move series. So let's get in touch and get you set up with your pre-order.
We have a great reseller network and distributors who can work with you. You can email partners@ptzoptics.com to get more information. It is a really great improvement for upgrading the firmware. You know, we used to have a little bit more of a rudimentary tool, I will say, and this is a massive upgrade whether you're on Gen 2 or moving to Gen 3 here with the Move 4K cameras.
All
righty. Anything else, Lindsay? You have your list there for us.
Yeah, on this list, will it be compatible with the MIDI control and Stream Decks and Stream Deck plugins? I feel like everything.
I'd be interested to see what Matt Davis says to that. The MIDI control should be in here. So let's take a peek at the MIDI control. PS. If you're not seeing the MIDI control, the reason is because you do need to log into the camera with HTTPS. I'm guessing that has to do something with, but if you see here is the MIDI control area here. So the PTZOptics MIDI control is available for the Gen 2 cameras and for the also the Move cameras, of course. And then you can see here the MIDI controller option, which would have a drop-down menu to show you the MIDI controllers you have available, and then the commands and events. So does that work with the Stream Deck? I have not tried it myself. I'd have to, but I saw a video with the Rodecaster 2.
But that was with the G2s.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So well, with the MIDI integration, I'm guessing yes, it would work with the Stream Decks as long as it supports MIDI. But
We got a question about the Move with the TriCasters. Is there any foreseeable issues there?
The Move 4K camera should work great with the TriCasters. The TriCasters, the NewTek TriCasters, can control pan, tilt, zoom for PTZOptics cameras. So you could bring the video in via HDMI, via 3G SDI. Keep in mind that the HDMI output of the PTZOptics Move 4K cameras is 4K up to 60 frames a second. But the SDI output is still 1080p at 60 frames per second. So if you're looking for 4K at up to 60 frames a second, your best bet with a TriCaster is probably NDI. Or if you have a TriCaster Mini or a TriCaster that supports HDMI, HDMI would be a good connector for you as well.
Oh, Matt wants clarification on the question. The question was, is it compatible with the MIDI controller? Or MIDI controller. Yeah.
Is it compatible with I think it's the Elgato Stream Deck and the plugins. Now, the Elgato Stream Deck can certainly control the camera. We have a couple tutorial videos out there, and it's a great controller for the cameras. And then the MIDI control is something I just haven't tested with this Stream Deck, but we could definitely look into that, guys.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of testing, a lot of integrations with compatible products. Let us know in the chat what kind of content we need to be creating for these new products, because these are our new babies. We've got a lot to come in the future. So let us know what we need to be showing you, and we will get on it. Like, what was the request we got at the beginning of the show? We're like, oh, we should have done that. Oh, side-by-sides with G2s versus the Move 4Ks.
Yeah, our next live stream will do a Gen 2 versus one of the Move 4Ks. There is a pretty significant difference in quality. And it's
especially if we're recording. If we're recording, you're really going to get to see the difference there.
Yes. Now, we are streaming right now in about 13 megabits per second. We only have about 25 megabits per second upload. So just to be safe, we're streaming at 13 megabits per second in 4K, 30 frames a second to YouTube. And then we're doing only 3.5 megabits per second in 720 to Facebook, just so we keep Facebook alive. But the really high quality is on YouTube. And so make sure you hit that little cog there and hit the 4K, which would be 2160p.
2160.
But keep in mind, we could be doing a lot higher bit rate right now. We only have 25 megabits per second upload here. So, we have some recorded footage that will be in higher bit rate on YouTube soon.
I found a question from the beginning of the show.
Okay.
How does the tally light work?
That's a really good question. So the tally light currently works with NDI. So tallylights.com actually has specific tally lights, I believe, that work with Blackmagic switchers. I can't confirm that, but
there's a controller.
There's a controller, I believe, for Blackmagic switchers that is a separate tally light system. This only works with NDI. And there is a Vista command that you can use to turn them off and on. So
I'm not sure.
Hopefully we'll have some more information on that. There is a tally light status that's available in the web UI. So we'll have to look into that a little more.
How does the tally light work on the Move 4K cameras? I just know that it just kind of works.
It's just in there.
It turns on.
It turns
based
red.
on which camera via NDI is being used in either preview or output in the video switcher that you're
turns
using.
red when the camera is in output.
And green when it is.
That's basically the gist of it.
Yeah, only via NDI connectivity at this point. NDI is built into all of these cameras. So it is included NDI HX3 at 4K at up to 60 frames per second.
St. Paul's Lutheran Church is wondering about OnVIF.
Ooh, that's a good question.
And the Move cameras? Is that what we're discussing?
That's a good question because I think it might have it, but I'm not sure. I think that one of our engineers will probably. Oh,
Matt's in the chat.
There is a feature that I just got reminded of that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
The camera. This is just a sidebar feature that they have. If the camera is mounted inverted, you no longer have to invert the image. There's an auto invert sensor in here
Nice.
that will make it easier for you. Also, one of the things that you'll see, I don't know if I can show this, the bottom of this camera.
Oh, let's switch to the Studio Pro.
On the Studio Pro here, but one of the things that you'll see here, oh, can you turn the light down a hair? Actually, no, it's okay, you can see it. If you see the IP address, it just says http://PTZOptics.local. So because it has DHCP and we have, it's not a subdomain, I'm trying to think of what it is. But basically it's a dynamic host name. I think it's a host name for the web server that is built into this camera. You no longer have to remember the IP address. You just type in PTZOptics.local. You log into that with any web browser on your local area network. Then I would recommend updating the IP address. And you can change that too. So you could have camera1.local, camera2.local, camera3.local. So that's all updatable to make it easier for you instead of trying to remember IP addresses. And I think just the setup process for our customers is going to be just that much easier.
Kind of think we could show the auto tracking again.
You want to show the auto
I
tracking
don't
again?
know.
All right. Let's
Still
start. So,
PoE.
Lindsay,
Yes.
I'm going to turn the auto tracking on.
Okay.
It's PoE plus now. We're just at the top end of PoE, so we're recommending PoE plus for these cameras.
So I know somebody said that they want to know what happens whenever you turn your back to the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I
try.
No,
and do
I was
that.
doing the Cotton
Do
Eye
some-
Joe earlier,
I
and
know.
it was
We were
still
doing cartwheels
tracking me.
before the show. Try and just do, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Why
What-
can't I figure it out?
What if you like go farther away? Is it going to zoom in on you?
What if I walk like this?
That was one of the questions we got.
What is it going to do? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
So once you get to a certain distance, it doesn't zoom
And
in.
then also it zooms in by itself. What if I just disappear?
Da, da, da.
And then I'll
Now, what
walk
happens
up.
if you go really close?
Yeah. And I'll walk up this way. I'll walk over here with my friends.
Okay, there we
Nice.
go.
We're together again.
We were just joking earlier that nobody has fallen, and there I did just trip. Over here.
But hopefully you can see the 4K quality
Yeah.
and
It's a little too good. Look at this.
Oh no.
oh god.
If I stand here too long, you will see my unibrow. So I'm gonna get back here.
Let me
Yeah.
go back and forth. So we'll show this is locking on to me now, and then you can go to Lindsay, and then we'll lock on to Tess here.
When you use your presets, does it affect the auto track when you come back to a previous setting?
When you use your presets, does it affect? Yes. Okay, so that is an important one. So yes, it does. So what you can do is you can set preset 0, and then when you turn on auto tracking, that's where it's going to go. And that's important because let's say you're using the PTZ camera for a different reason, right? But you know, generally speaking, that when the pastor's on stage or the presenter's on stage or the speaker, the teacher's in the front of the classroom, you want it to go to that area where you're going to have the tracking done. And so you set preset 0. So like here, I'll give you an example. So basically, when you, if we, let's go ahead and switch to the auto tracking camera real quick. And what I'll do is I'm going to set a preset on me here. This is the slow zoom, by the way. It does have a nice slow zoom option. And we'll just go ahead and hit preset 0. Okay, so you can see we set preset 0 there. We zoom out and move over somewhere. Let's just say it's over here. And then when I hit auto tracking, it's going to go to preset 0, which is where it's going to start. And it's going to select the person it wants you to select. See there, it's locking in on me there.
You have to press OK.
Oh, I have to press OK.
Tim's
go.
asking, is there a way to switch targets live without the green box?
That is something that we need to turn. The engineers need to confirm with me on that. What the ideal? I knew that question was going to come up. Currently, the box is showing up on all the outputs.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. And I know for a fact that the engineers know that that is not going to be ideal in every scenario. And with the new firmware update, we're hoping, I just don't have an answer for that yet. We're hoping that it should only be available on like the web, the stream number 2. Maybe you can have options for selecting it, but
much like calling presets, you're meant to switch to a different camera while you're adjusting the camera that you want to adjust. So we recommend that you switch to a different camera while you're changing the auto tracking person settings, just like calling any preset. We don't typically recommend you doing that live.
Yeah. And then in order to select between people currently, you can just go left and right on the remote control. And then ideally, that'll be available in the web interface as well. So you can just, if you click right, the camera will just go to the next person to the right. And if you click left, it'll go to the next person to the left. So it's a pretty cool feature. We're really excited about it.
We are so excited to be back live too. Together.
We're really excited. In not too long from now, we're going to have a brand new stage. We're going to have like a post-show podcast style, so we can kind of sit back and just chill.
Yep.
And answer questions, because I know you guys have a lot of questions about the cameras. But once we cover all the questions about the cameras, maybe we'll start talking about other specific things, and we'll have different specific show topics, and things are going to evolve. We do have a new event coming up December 19th, the Stream Geek Summit. If you haven't heard about that yet, go to streamgeeks.us and you can sign up for our summit, which will be hosted in this studio here, and the stage and everything will be ready then. We're going to have a live band and a live performance, and we're going to show these 4K cameras and streaming in 4K with like a live performance, which I think is important.
Yeah, we're excited to get back into some of our live events and start sharing these cameras with you and everything that can be done with them. We're going to have a lot of fun this coming year.
You know what I forgot, Tess, to mention is the Studio Pro. So we talked a little bit about this. We're really excited about this brand new camera here. This is the PTZOptics Studio Pro. It comes with a light. This will also be shipping in December with the PTZOptics Move cameras. This camera has NDI built in. It has HDMI. It has USB. And it has PoE, power over Ethernet, so it's got 3 video outputs. This is a really great camera for static shots.
And it films portrait mode and horizontal and vertically.
That's a really good point. It can do vertical video for vertical video 9:16 and then 16:9. And you saw some of the live footage from it recently. It is controllable via vmix and OBS and the TriCasters, just like all the other PTZOptics cameras. It's being used in a lot of different scenarios where you want to have like a high quality video feed with the PTZOptics quality with a camera that is static. So it's much more affordable than a PTZ camera. I think it starts at $699.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but that makes me nervous. It's either $699 or $799. I'm pretty sure it's $699. If you could double check that, Lindsay.
Yep.
This is great for somebody who wants to have main camera in their set. This is a great main cam. It's also a great product cam, like we used it as today.
It's also a really good pairing with a PTZ camera, because a camera like this can get a shot like we have right here. If you're going to have a shot like we've got right here, by the way, the lighting looks pretty good, doesn't it, Tess?
It does.
With the background and everything.
PT Studio Pro MSRP is $769.
$769. Okay, so then the map would be $699. So this camera, if you are going to get in a studio and you just need a shot like this and you want to bring it in via NDI or HDMI or USB, it's perfect. And then your PTZ camera you can use to zoom in and capture different shots. Wow.
And you're not limited to just using a light on top of it. If you wanted to mount a microphone on top of it, you can do that as well, or really anything that would mount to a cold shoe.
Yep, it's got a cold shoe on the top. It includes the light. So the light is built in. The light is powered by the USB 2 connection on the camera. And then you have additional quarter 20s on the side. I just can't, Tess, this looks really good. Does this look good on YouTube?
Yes.
What I'm seeing, the lighting looks great.
YouTube always degrades a little bit.
I actually like the black background.
I can't watch in 4K on here, but I mean, our monitor.
Do you guys like this background? I like the background.
I
like
sold on the black
because
background,
it's me.
but
I'm just kidding.
no, like the wall. But I'm also wearing black today, and I'm kind of ticked that I did that, but I just wasn't thinking.
Now let's cut
So.
to Lindsay's shot. What do you guys think about Lindsay's shot? I think this is more of a temporary setup, probably.
I'm excited to sit up there for the show eventually when we have the stage.
And I wanted to show, I don't know if we can do this or not, but I wanted to show how we're doing this. This is it's a pan tilt DJ light. And we put something called a gobo inside of it with our logo. And I just wanted to show that quickly what this thing is.
Gobo with the logo.
And that is shining down from a truss that is installed in the center of our studio, shooting down on the backdrop behind Lindsay here.
Hey, we're still having those instant rebates, right?
Yes, the instant rebates we still have.
Get your cameras now.
Matt says, don't forget the Studio Pro comes with NDI HX3, as does the Move 4K line, and is pre-licensed for NDI. Both have NDI HX3 already installed on the cameras. So you're getting really all the outputs your heart desires on single units with these. When I said simultaneous, I wasn't using the word properly, and it's bothered me the whole rest of the show. I didn't mean at the same time.
We will be giving away a PTZOptics Studio Pro at the Stream Geek Summit. So that's really cool.
Nice.
We have some awesome new announcements coming in December and January. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay informed so you can get your emails from Lindsay.
Laura. It's Laura.
And
the other LP.
Social posts from Lindsay.
Yeah. Social from Lindsay, emails from Laura. And I don't know.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all at PTZOptics. That is where you will get the stuff from me.
That's right.
All my content.
Like this video and subscribe so we can continue convincing our bosses to let us put out content like this on the reg.
Well, this was so much fun. Our next live stream on this channel will actually be in January.
See you next
year. End of January. So we'll see if I can get a stream in there somewhere. But the next time we stream, this studio is going to have a stage and more cameras. And it's going to be like whatever.
He's very excited for the stage, guys. If you
I'm excited about the stage. It sets the stage.
We will get you a stage, Paul. It'll be great.
So.
Only if I'm allowed to do karaoke on the stage.
We'll have to have a segment for karaoke.
Yeah, we will definitely
have a karaoke night.
We've done karaoke before in here. Not in here.
So I think we did it. This feels good. This is our first real live stream, and I think it went well.
I know. First time I've streamed with you in literally probably years.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a while.
I mean, it might have been.
Is this our first stream together?
I think so.
Wait, is it? Well, you did events before with us, like Worship Summit Live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so like I feel like I'm getting my feet wet again. Like I gotta get the kinks worked out, having not been live for a while, but we're back.
Look at that logo behind Lindsay. It really looks.
It looks dimensional. Like it looks like a green screen with like some sort of holographic display.
That's sweet.
I don't know. It's pretty cool. How do you know if your camera is a Gen 2?
If you have it.
Yeah.
If it's not the 4K,
if it's not a Move 4K, then you have the Gen 2.
But yeah, if it has the 4K logo on the right on the edge there, then that would mean it is the Gen 3s. If you have it today,
but what if you have a G1, like real old school? Shout out to anybody with a G1.
Yeah, if you've got a G1, then you are a classic. Thank you for being a customer for so long. But it would say on the bottom of the camera, the very last bit of the part number would either say G2 or nothing. It would just say PT12X -SDI or USB, but it wouldn't have the -G2. The first the biggest difference here, so the first generation of PTZOptics cameras, they've always been network connected, which is how we were able to do so many great. I don't even think you were working here at that time. It was 2015,
yeah, it was. We were
2016
G2 when I started here.
And the first generations, they were always IP connected. So we were always focused on getting integrations with vmix and with wirecast and with the TriCasters. And now we have a lot of great integrations that provide a lot of advanced functionality, like the iOS app, which is free. And we're building, a whole bunch of different IP connected. Has really been a great feature for our cameras. So we've always had IP connectivity. With Gen 2, we added power over Ethernet, And then 3G SDI, so the ability to do 1080p at 60 frames a second. Now here we are in 2023 practically, right? Almost 2023. And now we have 4K and all the same awesome features and quality and support. There's a 5-year warranty with the Gen 3 cameras. And the auto tracking, you know, is just something that I really feel like it's a cherry on top with these new cameras.
Yeah, it's definitely something that was important to our customers. So the engineers took that to heart and made sure that we're implementing it with this new line. So even if you're an end user and you're not a partner and you're interested in pre-orders, if you have a reseller that you're in touch with, make sure you bug them to get these in stock so that you can have them before they sell out once they are shipping. Because we only have a limited amount at a time, so you want to make sure that you're getting the cameras that you need ASAP.
Well, I'm just so happy. I don't know if it's that background or what, but I'm really happy with the way that this came out.
That one's really good too.
Yeah. That one's good, but I like this one as a backdrop.
It's just a nice picture.
Oh, there's the Superjoy. By the way, for those who don't know, this is really I would say probably has won the most awards of any product we've ever come out with. You know what I mean?
Lite has a lot too, but the Superjoy might be numero uno.
You can see here it's going to work with all of the PTZOptics cameras, whether they're IP or serial, or it's a Sony camera, right? Or a different camera model. It will work. And then this is a connection diagram here where you can see the Superjoy being connected to a Sony camera, an NDI camera, an IP camera, a serial camera, even sending control protocols to something else via HTTP. And Eagle Eye Video Maker plans to get 3 or 4K. That would be 3,000 to 4,000.
Thank you so much for your support. And when you do get those cameras, everybody, don't forget that we have a complete knowledge base and in-office support team to guide you through your setup process and implementation. We're there with you every step of the way. And then every once in a while you get to see us online. Hopefully we can help a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, when these cameras get out there, we want to connect with you guys, especially at this time when they're brand new. So let us know what you're doing. Maybe we could feature you on the show. Maybe we could do a case study together. These are brand new cameras, and they're doing some things that are just brand new. And you know, there's so many ways to use these. We're really excited to hear from you guys on what you're planning on doing and trying to help you be successful.
All right, I think that wraps it up for us.
So happy I opted for the Superjoy.
Oh, yay. That's excellent, James.
It is it's the way to go. I don't know if you're using the HDMI output, but that's a big one because you can take the Superjoy anywhere on your local area network. You can give it to somebody in another part of the building, right? And then they get the HDMI video preview, which is in low latency to control the camera, see what they're doing. So that's been really helpful.
When are they shipping? Certainly by the new year.
Yep.
They are available for pre-order currently, so get in touch with your local reseller and let them know that you want these to be available so you can get them as soon as they're shipping.
We're moving as fast as we can. They are shipping within a couple weeks, honestly. And as soon as you get them, you're going to have the ability to do a first-day firmware update. So our engineers are still working on the firmware. They're still making improvements. So as soon as you get it, it's going to have the latest. It's going to have firmware, but there actually might be newer firmware that adds some of these little features and things that we're listening to you guys about now. So that ability to do that quick firmware check and update it is a really big deal because at any time right before production, maybe not right before production, but regularly as you're using the cameras, you can just hit the check for update button and get the latest and greatest production firmware. Okay.
All right.
Good job, Tess.
Thank you guys so much for watching us. Give me a high five.
Good job.
If you're watching this on demand, leave your questions and comments in the chat below. And for those of you who are live with us, we're so happy that we got to hang out with you today. Thank you for being here and for your questions. And we will see you the last Wednesday of January. If not before, you did mention maybe a potential surprise stream. We'll see. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.